Welcome everybody to the Numerology Alumni Series 6. Can you believe it? 6 months ago, I decided that I was going to show up for you guys on a monthly basis for a monthly leadership call, a monthly town hall meeting where we could all come in together and we could basically create a space of healing and a space of connection and a space of community so that we could, continue to grow. For those of you guys, actually, I guess that's a kind of a, all of you guys know this. We work with your letters. We work with your names. We work with your life. We work with your birthday to give you guys insight into who you are. I promise you something. I don't believe there's any one thing that's going to take you to the next or to the top. It's the next thing that's going to take you to the top. So when I give you a letter or we do our one session, it opens the door. It opens the door to the path that you have to grow through, that you have to continue to rise up to. Because, hey, we started a business and, we wanted to be entrepreneurs and, we wanted to do this online digital income thing. And yet we still have all these limiting beliefs and these blocks and these things that create people like myself and like you guys, leaders, Angelique and Craig included, you guys as well, that have become out here to help serve others and want to help people go through stuff. So it's a journey. This isn't a one-time thing. And that's why I was looking at this and I'm like, I should be here for you guys exclusively. I should be here for you guys exclusively on a once a month mastermind where we get to come together and work on some stuff. So in case you guys have some things that you're dealing with, huge topic of conversation. I was talking to Craig earlier. He's like, dude, you got to take my September clearing meditation and I'm looking at this. I'm like, you're so right. And, he's feeling it because I know Craig's connected. And this feeling is the thing, and even Angelique is connected too. We have conversations we've had that things are shifting, things are moving, and things are and it's crazy how they always do this. They've always been doing this, but we are becoming aware of our own shift, our own migration, our own evolution. And to do that with a loving hand beside you guys, like this is the point. We don't do this alone. I don't suggest that you do this alone. You've got to read books and go to events and connect with coaches and better yourself every day and get accountability partners and consider this one of the most powerful accountability programs you can ever have is to think, I'm going to show up for this information. I'm going to show up for myself because what my goal in my life and in my purpose is to speak the part of you that you're not speaking. Because I was looking at this, I'm like, oh yeah, numerology is pretty cool. It's pretty crazy stuff. Just like tell you all about yourself, and I don't even know you. And to think it's like because we become friends after the fact, right? And after having that much information come out, of course we have to become friends because that's a lot of your personal information that we just took out and put all over in front of your life. And to think that this technology has allowed us to give you insight into places that you've known your whole life, but haven't been able to quite communicate it, as well to yourself as you'd like to. So this is why this conversation needs to keep happening. And this is why I created the group. This is why we're doing this now, doing this together. Doesn't matter if it was just one or two of us. Ambreen, hello, welcome. If it was just one or two of us, the fact that there's a group of us, it's a collective. It's a group of people where we each get to take our own piece of the energy and pour it into the digital campfire. So I hope that you guys feel like participating. If you don't, it's fine. I've got really cool stuff planned for us today. I've been working on some things and, there's an evolution of stuff that's happening in my world. And of course, for me, the most immediate reaction is how I want to give it to my people. I want to give it to those of you who have trusted me with your hard-earned dollars. You guys have paid to be here. Okay, you guys have trusted me in your path. And I wanted to give you guys this before I give it to anyone else. Because I'm compiling campaigns and I'm putting stuff together and I'm like, I don't even. It's so crazy to go into this new space of my life, learning and saying words I don't even know. And it's like, learning how to create programs and workshops and events and all of these big stuff is happening. But for me, my heart is with the people who have invested in me, the people who I've invested in. I'll tell you guys something. After a session, I have to take a walk. I've got to clear my head. I've got to take a nap. I sometimes, like need to remove myself from energy because we're diving into your chart. We're diving into the things that you've been dealing with your whole life. And it's a wonderful honor. It's nothing short. But, the same way that I look at my little girl after she's, done a day at preschool and she comes up, she runs up to me, she's like, Daddy, right? And she got dirt everywhere. And she's like, you just like tip her over and more sand falls out. And I'm just like, oh, you had so much fun today. Life gets us dirty and life gets us messy. And sometimes it rips our clothes and sometimes we take foreign objects with us. And there has to be, in my opinion, raised by loving parents, some loving hand, some loving energy that says, let me help you get cleaned up. Let me help you get to the party. Let me help you get home. Let me help you get to the next stage in your life. So, as we go through this tonight, before we kind of get into the cool things that we've got here, I just wanted to give you guys a really heartfelt thank you and appreciation. I'll be just straight up honest with you guys. You guys pay my rent. You guys, give me food. You guys get my kids to school and back. You guys help me with my car. So when you guys book in with me and we do this together, there is a sacred gratitude for what you guys are. And there's a sacred investment in me, almost a feeling of misplaced ownership to think, I'm like, I want to see you guys become successful. I want to see you guys, break free and not have to go to a job anymore. Oh, wouldn't that feel great? And wouldn't that feel great to look in the bank and be like, bam, and then, and just to have that feeling when you look at your finances, you look at your relationship, and you're just like, oh, I found the woman of my dreams. I found the man of my dreams, whatever it is for you. That feeling is there. I want to be a part of that success because you guys are a part of mine. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Really, I wanted to break this into two real big distinct understandings of our time together. The first one being, well, not maybe the first one, I'm not sure of what order we're going to go into, but this month and this energy has been next level. And I guess it's almost like last level. It's the last level. Like September is a 9-month. And so I am even doing this. I know for some of you guys, it's October 1st already. Like, whoa, bring on the good time. Like, this is a brand new cycle. It may feel, oh, it's September, and then October, and then the year's going to end. For me, I'm thinking cycle comes to 9, resets, and comes back down to 1 again. So literally in this transition, we are seeing the difference between where we were and where we're going next, what we've accomplished and what we have yet to do, what has come to its end and what will come into its beginning. There is literally a transition point that we're about to see. And for me, I'm looking at this being like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? I can't have this conversation as fluently with anyone as fluently as I can have it with you guys. Because, we're going through cycle shifts and, name shifts and, vibrational upgrades and alignments and all of these things are happening inside of our world. It would be nice to have that play-by-play understanding. So I kind of like to read the energy of the month and read the energy of what's going on. And this month took a lot out of me. Okay, so just so you guys know, North America, September, kids go back to school. Summer's over. The days are still long. There's still a lot of energy. Bobby gets married at the end of August. It was very expensive. So this feeling in September is like, oh my God, I'm so drained. I'm so exhausted. And guess what? Jen starts in preschool. Stanley starts in kindergarten. Talis starts in grade 2. Baby's starting to crawl and everything, So I'm sitting here like, all right, my schedule looks like I've got sessions all day. No, that's just me picking up and dropping off my kids all day at every single different school. And, it's been hectic. It's been exhausting. It's been draining. And to counter it all, the client conversations I have are like that little spin wind meter. Like it tells me which way the direction of the universe is going and who's showing up and what types of things are we dealing with. And my clients, you guys have been going through, I'm not sure if there's anybody here who fits into this category of people I've met with in this last month, a lot of stuff. And whether it's like, don't even want to give examples of some of the things that some of you guys have been dealing with. What you've been seeing. For some of us who've been seeing it together, you understand that people have been going through these phenomenal shifts and changes, and it hurts because there's this little thread that's called our ego, and that's like our sense of self, and we seem to wrap this little thing around everything. So when something breaks that really should break, and it pulls on that string that says, but this is who I am, it feels so uncomfortable. And what happens when something feels uncomfortable? You're like, ow, 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 no, 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 put it back, put it back. And you're like, okay, wait. So the universe is confused. You wanted change, and yet when change came, you didn't want it. You went back to your old habit. And this is like the most disastrous thing to ever happen to a human being. And it happens to me, it happened to me, it happens to people. It's a normal part of growing and all that stuff, whatever. But the reality is it hurts. We want to get somewhere. I know we do. You guys do. I know. But the reality is that as soon as things hurt too much and we go through too much shift and change, our old habits start to creep back. The familiar creeps back, especially with those who have a 4 in you or have a vibration of, like, maybe it's a 6 is probably another really good one that says, you know what, I've found my ways. I'm stuck in my ways. I want to, or not, I want to say that. It sort of sounds like a bad thing, but I found my groove. I found my path. I've paved my road. And that can be tough if that road that you've paved isn't taking you down the road you need to go. And you're like, but I need to go up the mountain. I need to go to the higher level of success. There ain't no road for that. There's no car that's going to take you there. You have to, like, you know, quantum Craig elevate to the next vibration in order to, like, get into that level of success. And it's going to pull everything out of you. I promise you. And it's a good thing. I promise you. So when we see a month like this, we're like, uh-oh, this is that month. This is the month, the September month. The 9 month is the all giving, all falling, all concluding, all ending. All of this stuff just wants to go and plop right down in front. And some things are going to break. Some things are going to conclude. Some things are meant to continue on. Some things are not. And you get a chance to take that inventory in your life and to look at this, because October is a mini micro January. It's a 2019 version of January, because that one energy symbolizes a new beginning. It symbolizes a new little cycle that's about to start to take forward. So we get a tiny little blip in the matrix inside of October to give us an energy of a quick little launch that you get when January comes in. I liken this to a chainsaw or a lawnmower. If you've ever had to start one, the pull string, where you're like, boom, and you have to pull it, and then it starts. So this is that pull that says, I'm pulling, and then the January is when the actual engine's going to start. So you guys are in this vibration right now. So we have to take this opportunity, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this. I have some cool things that we can go talk about if we have time. But I wanted to take this opportunity and show this place up, open this space up for anyone who's dealing with some seriously traumatic challenge. If you're going through a huge breakdown, a huge meltdown, a huge whatever, and you need to have some space to speak your mind and to tell me about what's going on, speak it to the group, you can. This is your chance. You can raise your hand. You can put it in the chat. We can talk about it if you want. I know it's a little bit tough to do that. This is a smaller crowd. This isn't a Go Live, but it's not a private crowd. This isn't a private one-on-one either. So I don't blame you if you're like, not now, Bobby. I'll do it later. I'm just too proud, or I've got too much stuff going on, and oh man. And so, I get it, but I still wanted to create the space for you anyway. I'm going to assume that people are like people, and that we're all one, and that we're all going through the same things and battling the same stuff. So I can imagine that sense of self, oh my God, there it goes, I'm breaking it. Or sense of false sense of pride, oh, there that goes too. Or feeling of false sense of whatever. Or maybe the past of me is like rearing its head, and I have to recognize that I need to get bigger and better. I need to become stronger. I'm assuming that we're all going through this together. So in case any of that is you, and you're like, actually, it hurts really bad here, and you really want to get yourself some time to experience it, I'll tell you this. People are going to watch the replay. People are like you and me. We're all going through the same thing together. So if we don't, and you guys don't really want to broadcast your stuff out, I don't blame you. But the more that people do, the better it's going to be for everyone. So feel free to unmute yourself if you feel like it. I'm just gonna quickly read this because Jesse's like wonderfully volunteered this information. She's like, "Oh my God, me, I hate saying struggling, but I'm struggling with this for months. Like September felt like I never learned anything, personal development at all over the past 2 years. Oh my God, slap on the wrist. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You are growing and you're just really hard on yourself." But and I don't mean to laugh, but I like to think that the proof is in the pudding, and that feeling that you're going to get somewhere, even though it's going to hurt like hell. That's that moment in the gym where you keep working out, but you're tired and you're hurting and you're like, this hurts. And it's that burn, it's that acid that flushes through your muscles and you keep going anyway, where you're like, I don't know what Jesse's like, I'm just telling you something right now. You're literally reading the stuff out of my mind. Like I had that low point moment inside of September where I felt like everything was dying and it was all for nothing and I wasn't doing anything. And oh my God, and my life is just crumbling in front of me. And I recognized, and you know what the epiphany I had was that I have to be here for my kids. I've got to be here for my little babies. I've got to be here for them. They're only going to be 4 once. They're only going to be in their little time once. And this is like my higher self is kicking me in the back of the heart. I would say kick. It's hugging me from the back of the heart, saying things like, you know what, man, just relax. Okay, you got to be there for your family right now. Not everything is always about business and about money and about making it. Like, you can't just always have a focus on that. If you want to be wealthy, you have to actually live like you have time, because people are looking at me, and even some people are like, they're kind of like, they're getting comfortable. They're like, oh yeah, so you got a day off today, hey? And I'm like, yeah, right. I never get a day off. We got 4 kids. I work full time, baby. And that feeling is to think that there's a challenge that, a freedom entrepreneur, someone who doesn't have a job, we have no safety net either. And we take jobs for granted. That's a nice, recurring paycheck that you get. You get that feeling to think, I'm going to do something and I'm going to get something. Inside of the entrepreneur world, it's like you eat what you kill. You eat where you hunt. And that's that big conversation to think, are you brave enough to step outside of that feeling of employment and job? And I know most of us still have jobs. It's okay. Honor them. Be grateful for them, that you can even have an entrepreneurial conversation because your wealth was afforded by that. Same thing with my business. I was like, it's not working. I'm not doing this right. I'm feeling disconnected. I'm going through all this stuff, all this parenting stuff. And then it clicked on me. I'm like, because that's where I need to be. I need to be with my kids. I need to help them through this stuff. I need to be there with my wife. I've got to enjoy our time together. I absolutely have to switch my focus, because that's where it was, I felt like, and people go through this all the time. If you're struggling in one area, it's probably because there's an open door somewhere else. And they say when God closes a door, he opens a window. And it's that same feeling to think, this is not a place I can pass through. I need to shift my energy and move it forward. But so crazy. I thought it was, let's see, where did you say it? I felt, yeah. So I appreciate you feeling that. I felt like there was Jesse, I felt like there was a death. I felt like there was a death in myself. This phantom energetic death of conclusion, thinking what part of my energy is no longer going to be there. And in biology, your cells change every few years and your physical body becomes brand new. Like, think of it that way, to think that your body isn't the same as it was 15, 20 years ago. So the same thing with your thoughts. Wouldn't it be a good idea to let some of those things quietly fade off and no longer repeat the gene? And part of that idea just decides to split off and it doesn't want to participate in the next round of who you are. There's new lights being installed, new screens and new electronics and new circuitries being born with every single word that we read. So I know it's tough, because a lot of us, I mean, even just Jesse specifically speaking on this, a lot of people are like this, where, we take 2 steps forward and then we take like 5 steps back. Or we feel like we take 5 steps forward and then 10 steps back. I'm like, that's 15 steps of experience. That's not 10. Who knows what if the tide was changing the direction the whole time? What if you were meant to feel this exhaustion of negative energy, and it was just supposed to stare you right in the face, being like, you wasted 2 years, you did nothing, and you're good. And that's that old program fighting for life, fighting for its security. And you get a chance to just surrender. Be like, great, you know what? So what? I didn't do anything. I'm sucked. I can't. And you acknowledge it all. Suddenly, it doesn't hold a power over you anymore. And not to say that you accept it, but you acknowledge it. It's a difference of saying, I see it. I understand. I'm not in the place I want to be. That's fine. As opposed to being like, no, I need to be somewhere else. I'm fighting reality. I need to do this. I need to get this done. To really step into that power is to give that surrender is power. Weird, right? We like to think that it's the opposite. I promise you it's not. The true power is connecting back to the big divine and saying, I give up, I let go, I let God, I let go and let God. The universe shall hold my divine feeling. I'm going to be very upset when, I work my ass off, my kids get older, and then next thing you know, I don't have to work and I don't have my kids around anymore because they're too old to care about dad and they want to go do their own thing. So, your blessings come in disguise. It really does. But I promise you, maybe you're just not reading the right books anymore. Maybe you're not connecting to the same idea or the same curriculum anymore. I'd like to think that the stuff I've been learning and the stuff I've been digesting is next level stuff, guys. And it's starting to make sense. You know the difference between a wheel in motion and a car wheel when it's stopped? They look different, right? Like 5 spokes on a wheel. But when the car's spinning at 80 kilometers an hour, you can't see that shape anymore. You can only see the blur of something. And so this is what happened with my personal development. Law of attraction this, power of belief, power of positive thinking, power of mentality, the feeling of going into spirituality, going into psychology, then going into biology, and going into this magnetism, quantum physics, and quantum mechanics. And next thing you know, I'm looking at this all again. I'm like, wait a second. We are infinite, magical human beings. Like, it's just almost like unicorn status. Like we use only, that we use less than 2% of our DNA. And to think that there's all of this extra bits of genes that are like, it's lying there dormant, waiting for us to be like, let's see you get into the 5D there, bro. You want to go into this duality stuff? You want to think about me versus you and what can you have and all of the, like, okay, no, humanity's not ready. And I looked at myself again. I'm like, whoa, I remembered my experience on mushrooms, believe it or not, when I was a kid, meeting God as I felt psychedelic experience, realizing that we are future tech. We are future technology. We're just learning right now how to get past our ego. We're learning how to get past this dimension of fight or flight is still a very real thing inside of our brains, and our bodies still have a lot of weird things that they do that have nothing to do with our survival mechanism anymore. So we're a bit outdated and we're breaking our form. You guys show up as the pioneers. You guys are the ones showing up as those who are breaking. And in that, it's like, oh my God, it's no longer a chicken's going to hatch from that egg. Now it's an evolved being. This new version, this new animal comes out. So very, very blessed for that guy. But it doesn't take away from the pain that it causes to feel like you're wasting 2 years, or the feel of like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing the right thing. I get that that's there. That is the flash of the fire of your ego trying to stand up for why it's angry. And you have to understand, you weren't an entrepreneur forever. So there could have been a place in your life where you just accepted the depression and you wouldn't have done anything about it and just said, hey, that's life. What am I going to do? I remember, when I went to work and I'm like, I only get weekends off and maybe 2 weeks a year. I can't live like this. And some people are like, be quiet, man, just get back to work. And I'm like, something about this doesn't feel right. And I don't know if I can accept this or not. This corporate lifestyle was the only thing that was keeping me sane. And I don't even think that it's going to, next thing you know, a few months later, I got fired and I joined in Magic. Like, there's a trickle effect that ends up moving into your favor into a really big way. So I promise you, you did not waste the past 2 years. You're just going through a spell. Thank you, goodness, for being with me inside of my life and my group. And I love your energy, Jesse. Whenever you're here with us, whenever you're on my Go Lives, it just feels like I speak into your soul on a really powerful level. And for that connection, I appreciate you so much, because the insights we've had together have been really powerful. And I know what you're cooking. I know how big of an energy vibration sequence you have. So please don't get caught with the blind spot. Just because the world throws mud on your visor doesn't mean that you can't see. It's just, sometimes we have to scrub that out a little bit and create an unconscious understanding. Like, nobody told your heart to breathe or your stomach to digest. Why can't we get our level of belief that way, where we're actually thinking to ourselves, you know what, times get tough, that's fine, I get tougher. Things don't always work in my favor, I work in my favor, I'm fine, I'm going to die anyway one day. Until then, I live in abundance, so I'm going to be okay. And everything is going to be okay. It always works out. I've made it to the now. I've made it through worse stuff before. Hey, great. So I'm going through an experience. How long is that experience going to last me? How much am I going to spend of my future energy mulling over a negativity in the past? And this could be that moment to be like, oh, shit, right? I don't want to do that anymore. No more. I'm going to go pick up a book. I would suggest, in case none of you guys are doing this, put on some audios while you sleep, okay? Put on some audio while you sleep. Whether it be of meditation, it could be binaural beats, you put them in your headphones for them to work, okay? Or you listen to a really powerful talk. Happy Pocket Full of Money is an 8-hour audio on YouTube. So just so you know, this feeling can take you right through your bedtime, and it will subconsciously program you like it's upgrading the infrastructure in your life. Like, oh my gosh, okay? So let's keep going. Jennifer says, shit hit the fan, as it were, in September. Uh-oh. I thought I was going to lose my job, and I was forced to get clear on what I want and what I value. Absolutely, triple clap on that. Everything got resolved now. I feel lighter now and ready for this new October energy. It's like a massive reset. Could also feel like you're jumping off a cliff. No big deal. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little tough, but we're all here flying together, okay? So Craig's saying, all surfacing to be felt and shed now. Establishing a clear and energized foundation to work your magic from mid-October. I'd like to think, Craig, you're onto something. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Andrew. That's an epic perspective. I appreciate you, man. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jesse says. I know it's just part of the journey. Just a thing, a tiring and trying period. Hoping October is different. At the end, also at the end of my 9-year cycle. Wow. So it's hitting you hard, hey? Turning 28 in October. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel that. So this, like, you're getting it like 10 times as tough as everyone else with the September. This feeling is like, not only is it a month, it's the end of a decade in your life. Like, literally. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Just breathe. If you want my personal advice, you need to install a very solid security fail-safe button that when you start freaking out, that you take your breath from the point where you usually breathe about 60% deeper and about 60% further. And you'll know, because your rib cage will start to expand a little bit and it'll feel like it hurts because you don't breathe like that usually. We usually just breathe the 20 to 40% of our lungs. But if you let it come out, then you start to blow out some cells, and blood starts to flow in new areas. You get expansion into different parts of your body, into that level of breath that can go really in deep, holding it in at that level, letting it out really deep and slow, and then holding it at that level, and then expanding it so that each breath goes deeper and deeper. You'll find more bits and pieces of your consciousness. Oxygen is a drug. Try it out. Give it to your body. Give it to your blood cells. They'll renew. And for some of you guys, running, exercise will be your savior to get a good solid sweat in. Like, you gotta go down to the absolute freaking basics. If you can't think your way out of a mood. You cannot think with a depressed level of emotion. You need to have an action that changes that. And I promise you guys, things like, breath work, or things like going out for a walk and changing your scenery, going for a drive. I go for the drive, and you know what I do? I look at the trees and I'm like, it's green. Everything is so green. Everything is just so freaking green. Look at the trees hitting the tree, the light hitting the trees. And I just pay attention to how vibrant all of my colors are. That's one of the most beautiful joys I ever have in my life, is looking at the trees. I'm just like, and I just connect to nature in such a beautiful way, because the trees are sitting there being like, come at me, bro. You can give me a hug. Nobody gives me a hug. Come and give me a hug. I give all the love for you. I stand here for you. I don't care about your BS. I will hear it all. I will take it all. Nature is very loving and giving that way. So just in case you need to connect to water or nature or trees, It's not a bad idea. Okay, so I'm glad, Jen, that things got sorted out for you. And I'm glad also that you kind of like look to the edge a little bit and you were forced to get clarity. And that's a really big thing that happens. Some of us are not so lucky. Some of us get broken up and we get divorced, or we lose our job, or we lose our mind, or we lose everything, we lose our pride, our sense of self. Everything comes crashing down, and you're blessed if everything got sorted out and you weren't taught a really big lesson, and the universal law of attraction wasn't just ripping something away from you unceremoniously. You got a chance to actually be there and go through that. So I appreciate that for sure. Let's just take a look at this here. Joanne says, I've been struggling with this house stuff, feeling like it is an anchor around my neck, not allowing me to move on. Conditional sales falling through. Oh man, life's made a big, huge decision to move on and let things happen as they will. Giving in and letting the struggle go. As you said, Bobby, let go and let God. I finally realized the universe has my back. I appreciate you for doing that. House stuff is like probably the most challenge. Like that rocks someone at the foundation of who you are. Like you need to sleep there. You need to live there. You need to create a sacred and safe and holy space. If you want my cool little, neat little hack for your house, take 2 of these little sticky note Post-it notes and just write stuff on everywhere. Thank you for the sale. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the energy movement. Thank you for helping us through this. Thank you for my ultimate success. Thank you for a wonderful brand new house and space, and everything that you really truly wanted. Just let it be there as a booby trap on every single light switch to really truly let go. Thank you for letting go and letting God. Thank you for the trust in universal divine, all of that stuff. I've been doing this. Actually, I was doing this for an hour before we all hung out. Thank you for clean smelling kids. I put that on the bathroom. Thank you for clean hygiene, and all this stuff. And I was like, for all the kids. And I'm like, ooh, thank you for being nice and calm. I put that on my little girl's bedroom, right? And like, I want to put these codes everywhere because this stuff is spells, man. We have no idea this stuff, like the power of words and the power of how it looks. And, I measure it on a very technical level with numerology. So I like to think that it was like the secret little fingerprint of God that left behind for us so that we could measure these vibrations, and they come in really powerful. So pretty cool stuff. I'm sorry to hear that all of these really weird things are happening right now. I'll tell you something, new beginnings are coming, and at the same time, foundations are coming. At the same time, things are being let go of. So right now, the energy between your house and the universe is kind of like holding on to itself, being like, wait, Joanne's going to figure it out. And then at this point now where you're like, oh, I'm just going to let go, trust, this isn't worth my stress, this isn't worth the blood pressure, this isn't worth the challenge. I've got to recognize what's really, truly important in my life. And to have that conversation in your house is kind of just like sitting there like the middleman in between you and the universe, being like, I want to sell too. Trust me, I want you to move on. But the universe is saying you got to let that energy, like connect to you. And it's a really powerful conversation when you look at this and you're like, what am I really asking for? Are you asking for the house to sell? Are you asking for a bigger house? Are you asking for the right money? Are you even asking the right questions to you? Could it just be this thing that's holding out on you until the time is ready? And to know, like, because if you say here, I finally realized the universe has my back. What if this sale fell through because there is another suitable purchaser for your house who actually offers you a really good value? Or there's another home or family that needs it. Or maybe you don't have the house you need yet and yours is still being prepared. Like, to think the universe has my back. Imagine my back. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't have eyes back there. So you have to understand that the universal field has your back and actually says, I'm working on things. Just relax. And my kids do this to me. And I relate this conversation between the universe and children all the time. And it's like my kids are like, is it ready? Is it ready? Come on, I'm hungry. Can you do? I'm like, can you just I'm cooking it still, kids. Okay, it's still in the oven. Just relax for a minute. It's going to be nice and ready to go when it is. But, like children, we're like children. We expect things to happen. We look at our frame of awareness and we're like, it's not in there. It's not in there. And it's like out here somewhere. And we're not paying attention because we don't focus on it. So we have to close our mind and focus on what's the vibration thing I'm pulling towards. What's the magnetism I want to bring into my life? What part of the quantum field am I going to fold into my reality and actually experience now? Super quick hot tip. Your thoughts, particles, energetic frequency is literally turning on light switches inside of your cells who are creating proteins that allow you to experience this emotion that you're calling towards, which is a magnetism. The thought is your electricity and your feeling is your magnetic flow. So when you get a chance to think about something you really truly want, oh, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. And then you go back and you're like, I don't have $1 million. It's going to work in the opposite effect. But if you're like $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, you're like, there I am with my new house. There I am with my new thing. There I am with my new car. We just went to Paris with a family. Everybody went. It was awesome. Then my $1 million got invested. It's now an income producing asset for me. And like oh man, I feel so good. Look at my fresh white shoes. And like my kids aren't stepping on them. And I love myself. And everything is awesome. And you're living inside of this delayed concentration of what it feels like to be who you are. So it's not a bad idea to literally set 15 minutes of your time. Is like if you wake up at 6:45, the alarm clock goes on and says, I love you. Now meditate about your future. How awesome are you? And you get to sit there for 15 minutes while you're still in this weird like theta thing, okay, where your brain waves are like in a different connection and they're not in consciousness yet, dealing with tangible reality. They're still doing this over there in the universe, and you're actually still playing with the soup of the universe around you. So pretty cool stuff. I like to think that, you know, we are existential human beings, and this is so cool how it's really coming together, because you know you get afraid, and fear is a main part of the game. It's a useful feeling to have fear, but it's not useful to use it every single freaking time that you have uncertainty. And that's just the comfort to think, I'm afraid. No, I need things to be comfortable. I can't do that because it means that it's unknown and there could be a saber-toothed tiger in there and he's going to bite my head off, and I don't want to go in that direction. I would rather go back to work because they're going to pay me, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be fine, and this is where I'm going to be able to be comfortable. And if you are finding comfort in there, enjoy it while it lasts. You've set the bomb, you have set the fuse, and it is lit. You're an entrepreneur. At some point, it's going to explode, and you're not going to be able to hold it back. And every single time you get a chance to, you thank this water that you're drinking for being the most powerful, life-changing device in your life. You thank this community for helping inspire the growth within you. You grow one step higher. You make sure you ditch the Britney Spears and you put on the Grant Cardone, okay? Like, stop listening to, like, you know, the pop music and start putting on the personal development. Do this while you sleep. Do it while you shower. Do it while you read. Absolutely make sure you invest in growing yourself unconsciously, subconsciously, in every single way, this being one of them, okay? So I'm glad the universe has your back, Joanne. It's an absolute powerful feeling. I have faith. I absolutely have unequivocal faith that it's tough sometimes when people like Joanne, who I admire, okay? So imagine this one. I see her as a value of wealth. She's like an ownership of mother and an ownership of woman, and this feeling of support, this love that you give to me. I admire you and I appreciate your energy. And to hear that you're going through trouble and stress, it's like, where have I been? Why don't I see that? How come I have this elevated picture of you? This feeling of like, oh, she'll be fine. No, she'll be okay. It's because I hold this image inside of my head for you, and this is what we do for each other. All of you guys, I promise you, my most genuine holding feeling of all my clients is that you guys are going to become superstars, 682-beyond, and you're going to absolutely crush this business, or through this business you find your craft, and through your craft you serve your own financial abundance. But there's a brand within you. There's people that need to be helped that will only listen to you. They will never listen to anyone else. And if you don't make it, neither will they. And so we're really praying for that massive success. But we got to dig you out. We got to dig you out of decades worth of programming, of decades worth of unconscious society programming that gets us, you know, Rubik's cubed against ourselves. So I appreciate you being candid and honest. So Fiona's saying 28 years, connect to Saturn. I'd love to know. I hear Saturn's big time right now. So if anybody has any information about that, would love to hear it. I think that something is in a new moons in a Scorpio. Whoa. Hey, how's it going?
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, sorry. If you want to say something, you can. That's no big deal. Just go for it. But I believe you may have been on two different devices at the same time. Okay, so green equals heart chakra. Yes, absolutely. And it's crazy how like the light like plugs into the trees. Oh my God, it's so super cool. I'm making my move out of the house and moving to Edmonton end of October. Wow, Edmonton, end of October. For all of you Australians, that's like, don't go there during that time of the year. It's very cold and it gets very wet. I mean, it's icy. Like, it's like, you know, it's like the equivalent of a desert in the winter. Didn't know that about the breathing. Absolutely. Message me if you have any advice on that. 28 to connect to Saturn. Yes, I would imagine that that's probably what you're talking about. Cool. House is a 3D attachment. Yes. Detach with love and expand beliefs. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate your yeses. Okay, Brandy, I've been feeling lost and I'm taking the time to reevaluate what I truly want, what my purpose truly is. I have been feeling like what I thought I wanted was a smoke show to hide from myself for fear I would succeed and then not know what to do next. That is a huge win because like a lot of people think, oh, if I make money, I'm gonna no. And Jim Carrey says, I wish everyone got rich because then they would know it's not all about making money. And that's that really strong feeling here. I'd like to think that if your purpose is bigger, then your actions don't scare you as much. And I would also like to feel that if people don't know what their true purpose is, I'm reminded of Zig Ziglar's saying, he says, if you want something, help other people get it. Or if you help enough people get what they want in their life, you'll get what you want in yours. And there's that really strong ancient wisdom in there somewhere. I don't know who says it, where it came from. But to think that, what you go through is your own authentic story. So if you don't know, if you're feeling lost, if you have to reevaluate, if you're going through this fear of, I want something, but I'm not sure if it's what I really want. And even if I did get it, I would still be afraid and there'd be something else. Other people are there who did not just say what you said. Other people are out there who are craving that sentence that you just gave to them. They are praying that someone is going to come out and say that thing that you just said to me, to us, that fear of being like, I know what it's like to feel like I'm lost. I know what it's like to feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I know what it's like. And that feeling is like, I'm showing up to say, you're not alone and we're going to do this together. And I've been feeling that same way as well too this month, wondering, looking and questioning and, and just having that vibration inside of me of like, will I make it? What happens if I have to go and get a job? What happens if I went to go and do my podcast and iTunes was like, no, they rejected my podcast. And I'm like, what? Me? You rejected my podcast? How dare you? And I was super proud. But on the other side, I was like sad, thinking, what's wrong with my stuff? And then, I went back into the cooking, into the kitchen and, reformat. And that's why inside of the group, you guys will see me do these ultimate numerology little half an hour podcast recordings. So super cool if you see one. But I'm going to be doing my series in there for you guys for absolutely exclusive. And then you'll see it on iTunes. It's going to hit iTunes after it'll hit you guys. So it'll be really cool and powerful there. But it's okay to feel like you don't know what to do next. It's okay to be afraid of your own power. At least you're looking at it. At least you're looking at it being like, bah, I don't know. And I'm just going to run into the other direction. And even that moment where you look at it is a huge, huge win. So I hope that you find what is truly of your purpose. And if you ask me, it's not that hard. It's having love. It's creating it. It's creating wealth. It's helping other people find love and community. And it's unless you have this really cool thing where you're wanting to start up schools in other parts of the world, or go and installing toilets and plumbing in third world countries. And there are cool things to do to really be a part of in case you felt like you were here to do that. But I'd like to think that just being a light switcher, turner oner, it's not a bad gig. To go out there and flick people and flick the lights on and everyone you see would be really nice. It's a great way of being of service to the planet, especially while the consciousness is raising at such rapid rates. We need more of us. We need more of us. And that's why I was looking at this earlier. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to call this my monthly leadership call, because you guys are really leaders. You guys are all absolutely in your own right leading a consciousness revolution. And I appreciate you guys, sitting in with my corner. Every so often we get a chance to do this, and I appreciate you guys being here. So I know it's tough. I know it's not always so easy. I know there's a lot of letting go to do. And this is basically what we've got to do with ourselves. Okay, so cool. This is going to take me some time to catch up. Heidi, the father of my kids is agreeing to sign the divorce papers. What's up? Talk about a massive conclusion. Also starting to use an app to help him communicate better with me. That's awesome. That's so cool. Way to go, Heidi. I appreciate that you're doing that. And that's a really powerful move and shift forward to be able to do that. So I'm very, very blessed and very, very proud of you. Very, very, very cool. Okay, Craig, universe soup. Absolutely. That's what it's universal soup. Angelique, I have a super simple morning and an evening ritual, step by step, that I wrote up for kids to get started, but it's great for everyone, especially if you haven't established a ritual. Hit me up and I'll send it, or I'll post it in the group. Can you what I would suggest, if you don't think that's a bad idea, Angelique, is to put the ritual in written form so that someone can take number points, and then at the same time maybe do like a little 1 to 2 minute video on it so that people can, inside the group if you feel like sharing, so that people can kind of use that as a small little place to gain another little piece of understanding over here. So you're saying, Andrew's here, my finger hovered over the send button for a few minutes, just to be honest. My mom is in the hospital. Sorry to hear that, man. Everybody just take a minute right now to envision Andy's mom, absolutely healthy, vibrant, with abundance, and completely in good spirits, and all of the love space that's required for her healing, shall be given to her, as divine right by the universe. So we're all connected, that there's a piece of us healing inside of the hospital with her, that we're all there doing this together, that we're helping raise her consciousness and creating this spiritual grid of love that just kind of like, you don't need to know where she is, who she is, what she looks like, anything. You just need to know there's a spirit out there that's connected to our hearts that is basically helping to do this. Her kidneys are failing, and it's hard not to be able to make her better. We're doing that, absolutely. She's deaf and has been handling communication barriers in hospitals, oh man, so well. She's so incredibly strong, so brave, so inspiring. I just want her to be better. I appreciate you for sharing that, man. And honestly, that feeling it's tough, because we want the best for our family, for ourselves, and I consider you guys my family. So, to think that your mom's going through that, and after the experience you and I shared, makes me feel like I agree with you. I just want her to feel better, and I believe that she's getting the help that she absolutely needs. But the only one who's really ever going to be able to help her is herself. And I hope so much that, she finds that love within herself the way that we're finding that love within her too. I appreciate you. Okay. Joanne saying, oh my God, makes so much sense. Thank you, Bobby. Love you, my friend. Love you, my friend. Absolutely. Mama Joe is amazing. Yes, absolutely she is. Andrew, prayers for you and your whole family. Big love to you and your mom, Andrew. Absolutely. When Craig gives big love, it's a big love. Thank you, Brandy. Love you. Thank you. Sorry, everyone just got home. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Craig. We'll work on this. Awesome. Cool, guys. So, okay. We're doing some work. We're doing some healing. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, everyone. I felt waves of goosebumps. I know my mom will feel it too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and when you're deaf, you can feel everything a lot more. That energy is not done. It's just everything else gets 110%. So, when you're not going through one sense, you're going through the others. So I appreciate you so much for sharing that and allowing her to be a part of our healing, man, because people are going to watch the replay. People are going to feel this as well. They're going to go through this. You're going to be like, man, that sounds like me. Man, that sounds like what I'm going through. I feel that, where I'm not agreeing with life, or I'm held up. And there's a new beginning. And there's that feeling of you just got to let go and surrender. And you just have to let go, have to surrender, because the universe has got a divine plan for all of us. And it's so beautiful to see it. That moment when you realize the universe has your back, and you're just like, man, sorry, thanks, I appreciate you. I've been stuck in my head, and there's all this emotions, and this is what the humans do, right? We get caught in ourselves and separateness, and we forget to recognize our connectedness. Speaking of which, so if anything else comes up, do not be afraid to unmute yourself. Do not be afraid to put it in the group chat. Please, I promise you guys, it's going to be a powerful thing for you guys to do. I had some cool stuff to share. So I'm working on some stuff, And I was like, you know, I was battling this with my head because, you know, in this game, this personal development game, you know, we come out with products and we sell things, and you know, we try to come up with these programs and these cool new events and these awesome stuff to come up. And yes, I'm doing that. I'm creating that, but I wanted this to be a really safe space, like for us. And if you guys feel like, you know, I honor and encourage you guys to show up inside the group with your offering. Okay, when you guys have something you're building or working on or selling, or can help the group, or showing up with, I encourage you to share that knowledge and information. It is a safe place. My group is a safe place for you to market your services. So you guys understand that, okay? It's like, I encourage you to do that, as long as you know you're coming from love. That's why you're there. Uh, but I'm working on stuff, and I wanted to give it to you guys without charging you for it. I wanted to give it to you guys. You guys have, it's an evolution of what's happening next in my group. Uh, there's a couple of pieces to this. One is that I need some solid guinea pigs. I need some people who are going to take this information and let me see if it's battle ready, if it's, you know, battle tested, and to really go through it. At the same token, I'm looking for things that I can do, that I can give to you guys, you know, as a bonus for being a part of my world, because of how grateful I am and how enthusiastic I am about what's going to happen next. So just to give you guys a bird's eye view, okay? So we're gonna take, you guys are gonna jump into the kitchen with me. You're gonna jump into the control center with me. We're gonna see this from a different set of eyes. So there's this vision that I have of automation, okay, like becoming online, and it involves doing things like recording small little, you know, numerology videos, and also coming up with this wealth alignment. If you've heard me talk about the wealth alignment, this is the program of teaching people how to become an entrepreneur. It's kind of like a curriculum, and it's very basic, it's very fundamental, it's also super comprehensive, but it goes from A to Z, from, you know, simple math all the way to advanced trigonometry, calculus, numerology, everywhere in between, of how this information shows up. So there are different levels of this information. There are bite-sized pieces. When the bite-sized piece you're going to get is what we're going to talk about tonight. It goes into like a thing where every one of these topics becomes a 2-hour talk. It goes into a place where this entire content becomes a 3-day event, and then it will also one day become content as well that turns into, every topic becomes a 1-day workshop, where every topic becomes an entire curriculum on its own. So in case you guys haven't heard it, you're hearing it here first. This is called the Wealth Alignment. This is my own creation of all the creation of the universe. So I'd like to say I've curated it, but I haven't created it as well, okay? So the Wealth Alignment, what's it for? Well, let's say, you know, you are, I don't know, an adjunct distributor, or you're direct sales, network marketing, and, you know, you want to build a team, and there are so much, what do you listen to? Who do you listen to? Who's got the right stuff out there? What stuff are we, you know, going to pay attention to next? I follow the Bank of Balaj. Okay, so Balaj is a friend of mine I've known since we were kids, and his technology, he showed me numerology, he showed me a lot of really cool things, and I learn a lot from him because he is my mentor, and I want to model his financial results. I want to pick from the people who I like their success, and I absolutely want to. So there's going to be that point where people are like, well, why am I listening to Bobby? Hey, the success that I've got, it may not be the one you're looking for, but I'll promise you this. I don't go to a job. I love my life. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love everything about it. I even love the challenging pieces that bring me down. I love it all. So I feel like there's a level of success in there for me that gives me that ability to say, hey, you know, I'm bringing something to the table. But the Wealth Alignment is a curriculum of information that you must understand if you choose to be successful financially, in romance, in love, or in life, in parenthood. Anywhere you define success, this program is applicable, okay? So I was, you know, and I think today just so that everybody kind of knows and sees this whole thing at once. We'll take a bird's eye view, but through our time together, because you guys are going to get things before I sell them, you guys are going to get things before they're released, while they're still sort of brewing in my mind. I wanted to share it with you guys and expand it with you guys. So we'll go through it all today, and then that way you guys can take some notes and really sort of let your ears perk when you find the part of you that's the part of the curriculum that's going to be mostly for you. So we'll put this into a couple of different pieces. The first one we're going to take a look at is your mindset. So the mindset governs everything of feeling, thought, emotion, and an energy on the inside. This is not action. This is all the stuff in your mind. So, I believe that this is the first indicator of whether or not you sell to someone or not. So if you're talking to someone and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know this person, I'm going to sell them in a magic machine. And then their mindset is so screwed on tight, and they don't want to hear nothing pyramid, anything network, nothing, super this or any, and you're so closed-minded, you don't need to create a door where there isn't one. So if someone's mind is set, that's fine. You're going to save yourself a lot of time. But those who are with an open mind and their mind is set, their mindset is positive. It's of the abundance. It's of the feeling of, oh, we'll figure it out. Something will happen. I mean, we don't know, right? And then the other side of the mindset is, see, that's why it didn't work. I told you, it never works. It's always this thing here. And we get this difference between, are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? And this curriculum is huge, because this is where law of attraction becomes like this mental construct of you can if you believe you can, or you can if you think you can, and your thoughts become things. And what emotions do you send off into the universe? And having the mindset is a very, very powerful feeling. So this is like the most fundamental. You can get by a long time in the creation of your wealth, omitting everything else, if you just have a good enough mindset, and it's something you got to work on every single day. And I'll promise you, some of the things that your mind was set, it's like this unconscious thing that nobody gets a chance to speak up for. It's the government. It's the big wigs. Oh, it's, corporate America or corporate. Is there such a thing as corporate Australia? Is that a thing? But there's a thing in there that says, your thoughts and your ideas and the things that you subscribe to were built out of unconscious fear from the last generation that didn't even teach it to you. They were just trying to figure it out for themselves. And then I inherited their unconsciousness, because, they were looking like this over the table at their money, and they were, it was never enough. And this is furrowed like frustration. And so every time I thought about money, I think, oh, this must be a serious conversation where I have to, get angry about this and think about, and everyone does this because we have to budget. There's not enough. And we have to make sure we ration our food like as if we're on a dying planet. I'm like, money doesn't even they got bitcoins now. Like it's a digital currency that doesn't even mean anything. Like, and we're worried about how much is going to be sectioned off, which create more. I take all my veggies, and when we took them from their produce, and I put them in water and I keep growing them. Like, that's what I do with my green onions. Like, they're still growing. And so the same thing with your mindset. You can't let it be defined. It has to be always blooming like a fractal. Like, it's always continuously bubbling with a brand new sensation of today's another day, another new brand new energy shines its frequency on us. Let's build something. Let's make something happen. Let's be of a good mind. And I was doing this with my kids. We're coming up with a new alphabet with things like, A is for attitude, B is for belief, C is for confidence. Instead of A is for apple and B is for balloon. And no, I want to teach my kids powerful language. And this is really going to help them with their mindset. I think if you don't want, and it's funny because I look at it and I'm telling to my kids, and I know it's kind of weird, because I'm like, you can have whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can have it. I don't care. You can have it, whatever you want, as long as you can think about it, you can feel it, you can work for it, you can achieve it, you can achieve anything. whatever you want. You want 1,000 lollipops? You want 1,000 video games? You want 1,000 trips to Disney? I don't care. Whatever it is you want, you can have it. I want you to believe. I want you to understand that you can do whatever you freaking want to do inside of your life. And that's that feeling of mindset. I don't want them to ever feel like, oh my God, my world is ending. And, and because kids do that, right? They want attention, they want love. So they pick on the other one. But they did this to me, but they did this to me, but they did this to me. And I'm like, okay, fine, you're both in trouble. Okay, fine, you're both not in trouble. Like, nobody's going to win here. We all win here, guys. Like, it's okay. And that's that feeling inside of there to think, your mindset is you have to protect it with your heart and your soul. And I'm talking to the preaching of the choir here because you guys have decided to become entrepreneurs. So it is an indicator that there is a pulse in the freedom mindset, the abundance mindset inside of you that understands the infinite level of, I don't need to just satisfy myself in a finite reality. I can live an abundant and an infinite level of connection. So I know that it's in there. But as soon as it comes up, suddenly, oh, but my friends and my family and my cousins and my parents, they denied me and they didn't, I'm so, like, the Caldwells are like a really good example of this. I wish my parents were like that to me when I got into business. They were like, why did you get into business? They were like, why couldn't you just get a career and just get a job and play it safe? And here we have, Mama Joe, we've got Dawn, we've got Tyler, and there's a community within their family that's actually taking this business on. And I'm like, I would love that for mine. I would love to have that level of support. Some of my cousins did, but that needs to be liked, that needs to be accepted, that needs to be acknowledged. It really bugs us because we get this from our parents when we're good boy, bad girl, or good girl, good boy, bad boy. We get this from our teachers when, send you home with a note and you have to get this sign and, he's misbehaving in class. And then in the playground when the kid, by that time it's over. We're going to do things for peer pressure and we want to make sure people like us. And then there's this whole social media thing. Oh my God. And so the mind is being attacked at every single angle. And you know what they do? They set you stuff so that it attacks you from the inside too. That's the real conspiracy, is that they give you Netflix and they give you, like, you kids could be watching some Avengers right now and watching Iron Man. And you're sitting here with me. And this feeling is, yes, of course you set up for the bigger part of you to think, hey, man, it's Monday night, Tuesday afternoon. I could be doing anything else in the world right now. And you're sitting here growing your spirit, listening to me rant and rave about how awesome you guys are. I appreciate that. That's just a wonderful feeling to think that you guys are standing up for your mindset. Huge curriculum. I'm not even getting into it. I'm literally just telling, like breathing on the surface here for you guys. It's a wonderful program to get in there, but it's all about belief. It's all about the belief of your success. And you have to make a wonderful connection, whether, that string connection to the future that you want, and just really be in love with it and just know that you're moving in towards that vibration, and know that no matter what happens, you don't know everything. You know very, very little, and the universe has your back. Otherwise, you wouldn't be alive. Life would have not chosen you, but you are here now to experience karma, help other people experience karma. Just make sure it's on the good side. And you're in a good relationship with karma, because it's a wonderful word. You just don't want it to be working against you, because it's like, sorry, that's your karma. But in this case, it's like, you know what? That's my karma. I'm going to be loving it. I'm going to work for a good karma. I'm going to work for a good vibration reflection inside of this. So cool. Mindset. How about the second topic? Skill sets. This one's cool, because this is like, learning how to do these cool little neat tricks and hacks, like, breath work, and learning how to breathe technically, or even learning how to write a letter to yourself. How about learning how to write a sticky note, or even learning how to write alarms on your phone, or learning how to write your calendar so that you can actually, express like a level of a system and order. I think skill set is an ever evolving field as well, because it went from network marketing to internet marketing, now affiliate marketing, and this vibration that Enagic is going through a different set of skills throughout the whole process. But as they say, 90% is done for you, and there's a challenge there, because one thing that you have to do is to make sure that you're taking time for exercise, that you're eating healthy foods. You can't just shove crap down your body. You are a machine. And if you're not feeding yourself proper proteins and proper things, and we're not talking about like as much as I love chicken, beef, meat, lamb, the whole nine, it's been killed. It's in stress. It's a challenge. There you go. You got to drink your greens. You have to make sure. I remember when I was laughing with Sally. I'm like, she gives me this green thing, and it looks like, like the Hulk had diarrhea or something. And I'm looking at this, and I'm drinking it, and I'm like, oh man, this reminds me of a fresh cut lawn. Like, this is a feeling of like I'm drinking summer in a glass, and it feels like summer camp, and I'm like with garlic in it, and it's like this. And over time, now I'm about 2 weeks in. I'm thinking, I'm when I'm drinking it, I'm like, to my health, to my amazing health. And you know what the really cool thing is? The more green and weird you get, like the spirulina and all the weird stuff, you get this like really good like green proteins, and I don't even know what it's called. It lights you up. And I'm like sitting there drinking this, and I'm like, and it's like it's the most powerful, potent energy drink with the most like, and you know who likes it? My baby boy, my baby son is drinking this stuff, and he's like, give it to me. This is brain food. It's got avocados in it. And like, if you can afford to create a healthy lifestyle with your food, this is one of the most important skills, is to really feed yourself properly and not to be run by your emotion. See Karen V. Ritchie on that. She's got a really good functional nutrition that she really talks about emotional connection. But the fact inside of skill set is that there is a list of modalities and a list of tips, tricks, skills, understandings that you have to go through in order to know that, hey, I got to write an ad. Hey, I got to take care of myself. I got to exercise. I got to put good things in my body. I got to make sure I drink enough water. I have to take the time to meditate. Learn how to do that. Learn how to visualize. There are skills in there that are going to rely on your mindset. And this is where this cool curriculum starts to come into like fruition here. It's like, these things lend from each other. So having a really solid sense there is super powerful. Then we come to the next vibration, the next curriculum, spirit set. This one's fun. This is like, what? That sounds crazy. What's even that? Like, what's even spirit set? Y'all don't even know. We're spiritual beings, man. And these bodies are like puppets with strings, and our souls are just pulling on these strings as we go through life. We are our own puppeteers. We've got a divine soul connection. And this is the reason why, if you guys haven't seen the group chat, if you're not in it, Craig posts this picture, and it's like, what was it? Like the numbers of the clock match your battery. And I love doing that. I'm like, oh, this is so cool when you get a chance to see that, because the patterns repeat themselves in such a high level that for me, I'm like, I'm starting to like look at this guy, and I'm like, spirit knows who you are in a really big way. Like, it really recognizes you. And it's almost like you found this level of connection to your highest guru state. And to know that we have this in here, it's that feeling of like when they say let go and let God, it's the God in that conversation. It's that feeling of, I'm an infinite being sent here to this planet to do something to help it get better. And that can be enough, because some people are super religious and spiritual. That could be enough to help you get through the darkest times, to think this too shall pass. And, I'm still here, and God doesn't put you anything, can't take you out of. But the mindset and skill set, it's like the part of your brain, the part of your body, and then the spirit set is your soul, mind, body, and soul. So you've got this trifecta of coordinates in your body that you have to have your brain, because your brain will fuck with you. Like, that thing will get you so messed up, because it's a program, it's a calculator, it's a recorder. It's like this constant receipt spitting machine that says, hey, remember the last time you touched the stove? You got burned. Don't do it again. Hey, remember the last time you got rejected? That's what sales are. It's rejection. Don't do that again. See, you got married, so don't look at other women, because you should, you're going to get rejected, and that feeling is there. And I'm not saying if you're married, go look at other women. That's obviously not what you need to do. But the reality is that you have to recognize that your brain is just predicting things. It wants predictability. That's what the universe is looking for. It's looking for an algorithm. So your brain is like, boom, I'm all over it. I'll think about all kinds of crazy stuff and make sure it messes everybody up right before they really need it. And that's why the brain is such a fun, loving mechanism, but it is not your center or your source. It is just the hired guns. It's your periscope that goes up and says your antenna. And it says, look, I'm above. I can see things. I like to think that our center and our core is more where the chi comes in and out of, like this expanding universe inside of your gut. But anyway, spirit set, that's where we come from. there's a really bigger conversation around what are you really doing here? What did you actually divine down here to do? Why are you even alive? Like, what did you come to this planet to achieve, to help move forward? Your spirit set is you cannot pass this. You cannot set this apart. It needs to be accounted for in the equation. And that's why I was like, ooh, I need to have a curriculum on your spiritual, I'm like, what do I call this? It's like your spirit mind, no, your mindset. How about your spirit set? It's like a evolution from your skills, is to know that there's some reason why life has chosen you, and that why we're like a vibrating piece of our own energy. So super cool. Absolutely super cool. The next one. Now, this one is really neat. This is communication. Communication is the next curriculum. It's the next field. This is where everything ties together. You have to communicate between your mind and your body, between your body and your soul, between your soul and your mind. You have to make these connections. Every choice that you make is a communication to the universe. Every thought that you think is a communication to the universe. Every movement I make, I'm communicating my hand right now. And there's that identity inside of our communication that we forget that we talk to ourselves. We forget how to talk to ourselves. We go unconscious when we get angry. We're upset, and I know I'm angry, and I'm just gonna be away from everyone, and just trying to figure this all out. And I'm communicating all that time, anger, fear, disgust, and distress, and I'm like putting this, I'm swirling and just being an angry scientist, an angry wizard, being like, and just like booming all of this energy from me. Learning how to communicate is one of the most powerful things ever. Craig, take it away, brother.
Just a little bit of an insight on that I picked up over the weekend. When we actually go into fight or flight mode, like anger, etc., it actually pulls energy from our central nervous system out to our peripherals, like our legs and our arms. That's why whenever you're feeling like that, if you're not comfortable with that feeling, if you do like a chakra centering meditation and just imagine that energy coming back into your chakra system and literally running up your chakras, it pulls the energy back into your central nervous system. And it means that you can actually then observe, even when you're angry, that's fine, but you get to observe that anger if you're actually in that state. There's a beautiful little meditation that Peter G does, and it literally is a 3-minute meditation. And it literally just gets to center you again. Just center, just be still. So I might be able to drop that into the group. But yeah, even just knowing that, just that sense of consciousness that when you're angry, it's pulling all the energy away from your brain, away from your third eye, away from your voice. You can't communicate because the energy is being put out to your arms and your legs so that you can fight or flight. You're not going to rationalize with a saber-toothed tiger that's about to eat you. You just need to either fight it or run.
Yep. I would absolutely love that meditation if you think that that's okay to share with us. I think it would be really helpful for everyone. These are redundant programs, guys. We're no longer in that paradigm where we have to deal with this fight or flight mechanism. There is no saber-toothed tiger. And yet our programming is still feeling like, wait, I'm challenged. This is myself. I'm angry. I need to do something. And then it removes all that energy from your mental faculty. And so having these communication barriers removed and roads built instead, so that you're like, ooh, I have the perfect 3-minute meditation for this. Hey, I'm going to add observation in front of my anger, or I'm going to be able to put that even in front of my sadness, even in front of the desolation, and whatever it shows up in, you get a chance to build these communication barriers and these communication gaps. Also, inside of this curriculum, the wealth alignment, imagine we're on the road to be entrepreneurs here. So bringing this back down to the earth. Communication is now your ability to help someone, and your ability to actually go out there and have a conversation with someone and help them move through things and know how to read a mindset, know what skill to use in order to get through the conversation, know that you're here to help them and that the right words will come out and that you'll be guided by the power of you. This level of communication is a huge idea, and it's the bridge connector between everything, law of attraction to manifesting in reality, how you think to yourself, even what Joanne's saying, happy pocket full of money, the catalyst of power, the assemblage point of man, Angelique by John Whale, PhD, is a central alignment bundle of light energy, the back of our heart chakra where everything crosses and aligns. Oh, that's so cool. Bobby, what is the 8-hour audiobook you mentioned in the beginning? I'd like to listen to while I sleep. We used to listen to Happy Pocket Full of Money. We also listen to, actually here, I'll let you guys take a look at some of this stuff. This is just for you guys in the chat and the replay. tinyurl.com/GPM library. I've also gone crazy with Joe Dispenza, really powerful, wow. And I'm just going through a profound shift in experience. I'm sitting there listening to stuff, and it's so crazy to think that there is a biological component to law of attraction, spirituality, magnetism, and physics, and all of this stuff that we're in the metaphysical world. It's actually in the quantum physics world. Like, there's a really big movement inside of that. It's so super cool. Very, very much a big fan of that right now. So this is kind of what I'm popping into my head, what I'm listening to. And this is what I'm communicating to myself. What do I communicate to myself when I don't wake up early enough to go to the gym? And I'm like, I'll just go to the gym after I take the kids to school. I'm communicating to my Sally that I don't value her time as well. I should be doing this at 6 a.m. And this is that feeling that when you master the art of awareness inside of your communication, this is why we invest in types of things like this, in events, and to understand workshops and programs. How do you communicate to yourself? What do you communicate when, the person cuts you off on the road and you're like, God, you almost hit me. And this happened at school today, 30 kilometers an hour. Like, this is less than that. It's outside. One person's slowly backing out, and this other person's coming in, and then she comes to this like halt like this, and then like, whoa, and I'm like, oh, relax, we weren't going that fast. And this other person's still moving, and they're kind of oblivious. And I'm like, it's school. You go really slow. Everybody sees everybody. And this lady's just sort of sitting there watching her, like really angry. And I'm like, let it go. It's okay, soccer mom. Just relax, and it's going to be okay. And like, I could feel her anger. And I'm like, whoa, I've been there. And I'm just kind of like slowly walking towards to pick up my kid. And then I see her slowly pull away from the car. And you can tell that this woman was having an episode, and you could feel it right there. And I'm just like, it's okay. Things happen. We have to work on our ability to, what is that? Like, she's like inches away from having a heart attack. Like, imagine that you're communicating that this person who has no awareness of you now suddenly has complete control over your state of validation and what you feel like you deserve. So building that communication conversation is like building a network peer-to-peer between all of the pieces of you so that nothing can hold itself against you. And yes, Craig, if you don't mind, I'm going to absolutely be blessed if you can lead us through that meditation. It's going to be super powerful. Actually, yeah, I'll finish up with the curriculum, and then we'll end it with that. Okay, so the next piece of this puzzle, actually kind of leaning on the biomechanical coordinates of spirituality, numerology. And this is where I'm like, wow, this is awesome. We put another layer, another net of awareness over top of all of this by understanding the structure of numbers. 1, leadership. 2, partnership. 3, creativity. 4, logic. 5, passion. 6, family. 7, intuition. 8, application and law of attraction. 9, service of humanity and connection to the planet. And to know how these numbers play inside of your life, your address, your phone number, your name, your birthday, your page, your clients, your prospects, your kids, your family, your spouse, to see how it circulates through all of you, offers another unparalleled understanding of what we all are and how we all are all working inside of this algorithm. It's like spirituality for skeptics, or spirituality for analytics, to understand that vibration, that conversation. Huge. That's what all brought us all here. So it's a really wonderful house to be put under, is this numerological conversation of power. I had to have a wonderful place for that inside of my curriculum, to think this is my personal movement into this niche level of information I brought into the game. But knowing how this works, especially when you're faced with a 9-day or your 9-month or a 9-year, especially like the vibrations we're experiencing today, where we're like, oh my God, everything's coming to a crashing end. And I feel like everything's losing and I'm losing everything. And if you were to look at the numbers and you're like, oh, because it's a day where I'm supposed to conclude stuff and I'm supposed to let stuff go. That makes so much more sense. Now I feel empowered again. I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and the day is going to be brand new and I'm going to start off again. I'm going to do this whole brand new thing again. And this feeling moves us over to understand that, hey, there's a divine cosmic reality that we can really buy into with the level of numerology. If you haven't taken my course, oh my God, I'm going to be doing another one, but that's specifically for numerology. This one will be more of an overview into the curriculum of what numerology really is. And then we come into my favorite one, and this is one that we all want to graduate to, leadership. The final curriculum around this all goes into how do you inspire this information into a brand new entrepreneur? How do you inspire this information into yourself? How does all of this come back full circle so that you can have a leadership conversation the same way that before it was like, I just want to sail. Now it's like, I just want my guys to hit 4A. I want to have a distributor who hits 6A. I just want to have someone in my business who goes on to create a legacy. As before it was, I'm scared of my own shadow. I don't know how to sell a machine. I don't know how to do this. I'm afraid of everything and I don't know what I'm doing. When you finally figure out how to ride a bike, you want to buy a faster bike. When you finally figure out how to drive a car, you want to get a bigger car. The same way that we have inside of this information, once you master the basics, how well have you mastered them? By how well do we implement them into our teams? How do we show up with them inside of the vibration of other people inside of our group? And this is enough to be a mentor. This is enough for you to become a coach, or enough for you to really provide value or service for your team and being the business strategist of your own company so that you can help other entrepreneurs become that. Some of you guys are like, boring. I don't want to do that. Can I just send them to you? Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm putting this thing together, because not everybody is going to go to school to learn how to become a teacher. Some of you guys just want to become the top students, and some of us we want to grow into teaching mode. So to have this curriculum in this space, it's something that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in more depth with the numerological twist. But it's going to be cool because you guys are going to see this. It's going to show up on a site. You're going to get a chance to buy it. You guys won't really need to. If you do want to, you let me know. You're like, I'd like to take this. I will come up with some kind of weird 50% off discount for all of my family because I'm not looking to sell this to you guys. I'm looking to help you guys become this so that when I show this to people, I'd be like, look at my fam. See what happened when they went through the wealth alignment. They got a chance to hit their power. And next thing you know, these people are all extraordinarily successful. And you ask them what's up, and they'd be like, the wealth alignment, that's what's going on. You need to get in with this information. So for me, that's what I'm looking to create, is a loving relationship with you guys where I come out and I serve. And in return, you guys help me with my marketing when it comes to the future. Not so that you guys can continue buying stuff with me. I'm going to make an event. It's going to become a retreat. It will become something if you guys want to be a part of, that's fine. But it's because of you guys that I actually got a chance to create this. It's because of what work we've done together that I actually became, that this entire thing was inspired. So just so you know, I'm appreciative for you and of you and thankful for you, but this wasn't for the purposes of selling to you. This was for the purposes of giving to you with the love of my soul, thinking, does this need to be worked on? Do we need to grow from here? Is there something that needs to be tweaked? So for anybody who sees this information, goes through it, as you guys get more information available, you just let me know. I'd love to get into the kitchen with you guys and really help see what that flavor looks like, because we're going to help a lot of people. And I like to think, like, I'll use Angelique and I'll use Craig as examples for this. We got a chance to work together, long time ago. And then something happened to you and you became something super powerful in your own right. And you become a service to the planet, to others, to the paradigm, to the community, and you've shown up as a leader in your own right and form. Now, some of other you guys may have done this as well. I'm just picking on these two because I hang out with them more than I hang out with anyone else. And to know that I've played a part in increasing the success paradigm for you guys in your life, the service paradigm for you guys in your life, makes me feel like I can sleep a lot better, because knowing that there's Craig out there somewhere, like waving his hands at people, and this feeling of Angelique is out there helping people with their children, and to think that we got a chance to move our energy together. I'd like to see that for all of you guys. I'd like everybody to own that and feel like, you know what? I became a better person because I got to associate with Bobby. And that's my biggest main huge goal for me wanting to do this and wanting to run these groups for you. Take a really huge deep breath, guys. I'm gonna lead you guys into a pre-meditation before Craig leads this meditation. I'm just gonna help you guys to understand that everything dies, everything is cyclical in nature. We're experiencing one of the most dramatic shifts between numbers. It is literally the most dramatic shift between numbers. Between 9 and 1 is a 9 number shift. Every other number is a 1 number shift except for this one. So if you're feeling this in a year, if you're Jesse going through a year 9, if you're like me and that was last year, or you're like everyone else here and you're like, dude, this was September, now it's October, and everything came crashing in. I had to get real with my purpose. I had to get focus. I had to get clarity. I had to relinquish control. You're not alone. Just take a huge, deep, nice breath. Oh, and just let that thing out and recognize that with every exhale, life accepts you again, and that there's something new and there's something brand new coming for you. You just have to endure. Sometimes endurance is the most powerful thing that you can do to keep on keeping on. And if that means, Bobby, I need to talk, or maybe you just scroll through my page, you just do the random press play and go to inside the middle of like a 2-hour reading of mine on Go Live and see if there's something powerful there for you. See if there's some insight that the universe has left behind for you to grow through and go through. But I appreciate you guys for being here with me, spending this time with me. You guys are family to me, and I pray for your success, and I hold you in such high regard and such high abundance in all ways, shapes, and forms. We're doing this together. When you become successful, so will I. When I grow into my abundance and wealth, so will you. So please take that with you. And I appreciate you guys for being here. To conclude this, we got a real special treat. Craig, you're gonna lead us. This guy is magic. If you have not experienced this yet, you are in for a really big treat. I appreciate you, Craig. Go for it, brother. Let's see what you got. You're muted.
I'm mindful of everyone's time. If you're interested, I've just done 2 activations. One was a clearing and one was an activation. In Australia, last night was the last night of September. So it was a really, really beautiful time. Lots of these energies were coming up for people. Like you're saying, Bobby, it's all about this clearing and getting rid of shit. And the only way you can get rid of it is to see it, first of all. And once you've felt it, then you're ready to, yep, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for life to actually not feel like this anymore. And then the other one was this morning. In Australia, it's the 1st of October. So so it was the 10, lots of 10s coming through. So it was all about this future pacing. So if people are interested in like an extended version, I'll do an abridged version. It'll give you a little bit of something because I'm mindful of time. But if you want to be in my closed group, that's where they are. They're just saved as live, so you can access them anytime you like, irrelevant of dates and stuff. So I can maybe drop the link into the chat if people are interested, or just message me and I'll add you to the group. Magic. So I'll just get you to breathe. Let's just start to become present. We just start to breathe to begin with. Just become mindful of your breath. For a little while, I'll give you some hand gestures, some supporting. I'm going to start a box breathing. And what that's about, it's about breathing in and then hold that breath. Hold it. Feel that breath soaking in. Now exhale. When you empty, and hold that breath again. Just hold it. You actually start to feel that sense of peace in that breath, in being empty and open to new possibilities. And here comes the new possibility. We breathe it in. You feel that new possibility coming into your body. Hold it. Let it soak in. Give it time to work its magic. Let it soak in. And now exhale. Hold that breath out. Feel that beautiful void. Feel that freshness. And now we're about to energize it with a new breath. Breathe in. Feel that. That's October. Hold. And as you're holding, start to prepare to release September. All the shit that you've been through. Feel it actually gathering. Hold. Hold. And as you exhale, push it out of every cell now. Push it out. Feel that? Hold. 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 Feel that new potential. This is just the beginning. The beginning of you. Breathe in now. Now you can really feel that freshness, that October, really building that foundation of energy in your body. Let it penetrate every single cell. Exhale any resistance. Dissolve, 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 dissolve the past. Dissolve resistance. Dissolve the old self. Dissolve the old you. Dissolve the old vibrations that don't serve you. Dissolve. Breathe in. Feel that new energy rush into that void that you just created in every cell. Feel that new potential and new energy penetrate every cell in your body. Your bone marrow, your bones, palms of your hands, your fingertips, your nose, your ear, your eye. Exhale. Hold. Now we're really going to go deep. We're going to breathe in. Breathe in now. Raise your arms if you can. Sip in more air. Sip in more air. Expand you. Expand every cell. Feel it expanding. Go for it. Don't hold back. Go for it. Breathe in. More. More. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Expand. Grow, 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 grow. Activate, 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 activate. And then exhale with a hum and drop your arms slowly. You feel the bliss, feel the calm, feel the difference just in that short space of time. Now you can see a window of October. Now you can see a window into your authentic self that you couldn't see before. You feel that calm. Feel the potential. Drop into that feeling a bit more. You feel whole, more whole than you did before. Even if it's just a glimpse, or even if it's a lot. That's what you get to build on. You might like to close your eyes now. You might like to close your eyes. You might like to feel a presence. How guided you are, how supported you are. You might feel like the brush of a cheek, perhaps a kiss on the forehead. You might feel a hand holding yours. You might feel someone's head on your heart. You might feel a beautiful embrace from the past or the present or the future. More loved, more whole, more safe, never alone. That's it. Choose this now. Choose these feelings. Choose this new lease on life. Choose this window that Bobby's just opened. Choose this window that your soul has just opened. Let the breeze come in. Feel it like a breeze now. Choose it now. Lock it in place now. Accept it now. Breathe. Hold that breath. Feel the shifts. Exhale any resistance. Dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. And land on your back in your own body, feet on the floor. And in your own time, open your eyes and come back in the room, ready to step as the new you.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Most welcome.
I appreciate you for everything that you are and everything that you've grown into and everything that you are about to do. It's so super cool. All of you guys. And I appreciate you guys so much for being with us and for sharing that energy and that space with us. I hate to say that we only do this once a month, but in the meantime, we're here every single day. I'm here, Craig's here, you guys are here. We're here for conversation. Hang out in the groups, hang out with us. I'm going to be doing more go lives for you guys this month. You can see a lot of really cool things from our space. Absolutely. And take all the healing that you need. And think of it this way. You may be us right now. This message is about to go into the future, and there's going to be a replay, and people are going to see this, and they're going to lend their energy to you. So make sure you lend your energy to others as well. Let's get up to the new level, the new place, the new part of our success. I'm ready to go. And I know I've been ready for a long time. It's inch by inch, the inches, the steps, it's the small micro wins that create the championship. It's not one move. It's how you move every single time that you have to. And sometimes you get tired, give yourself space to get tired. If you get done, give yourself space to be done. It really helps move the whole energy moving forward. So cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here and absolutely part of the Numerology Alumni Series 6. We'll see you guys next month for Series 7. But in the meantime, I'm always here and I love you guys so much. Have a great day. Have a great night. Enjoy October. Let's do this, guys. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.